In this lecture, I'll discuss with you mock test paper series 1, paper 2 corporate and other laws. So this is similar to final examination. So here you will find two parts. Part 1 multiple choice questions, part 2 descriptive questions. In multiple choice questions, we are having two varieties of multiple choice questions. One is case scenario based multiple choice questions, and second one is independent multiple choice questions. Whenever you are attempting case scenario based multiple choice questions, first don't read case scenario. Don't read case scenario, directly jump to MCQ. Are you able to answer it or not? Check it. If you are able to answer it, no need to study, no need to read case scenario. Suppose few questions, one or two questions are connected with case scenario. In that case, read case scenario. But when you are reading case scenario next to the questions, you can easily pick up the relevant points for answering those MCQs. Getting my point? Suppose, part 1 case scenario based MCQ, 30 marks, part 1 is compulsory. That means there is no choice with respect to part 1. 15 MCQs we are having. Each MCQ carries 2 marks. No negative marking for the time being. For right answer, you will get 2 marks. And for wrong answer, 0 marks. That's it. See, just look at the case scenario, ma. Just look at the case scenario. This is as per a normal text. But if you observe question paper in examination, it will be very, very lengthy, because the text is not very close to each other. The sentences are not close to each other. You will find a lot of gaps. Spacious manner they will give you question paper. Getting my point? Now, first we will see MCQs. In case of Prakash Limited, regarding unpaid dividend, which of the following statement is correct? So they are asking about unpaid dividend. Let's see options. Prakash Limited is guilty of non-payment of dividend because some of the dividends remain unpaid even after 30 days of declaration. Prakash Limited is guilty because of list of beneficiaries of unpaid dividend is hosted on the website after 30 days from the date it falls in the category of unpaid dividend. Prakash Limited is guilty because list of beneficiaries does not contain latest known address of beneficiaries, the amount unpaid. Prakash is not guilty because it has fulfilled all the provisions of law pertaining to the unpaid dividend. Now, to answer this question, you need to study case scenario. And what is the requirement here? Transfer of unpaid dividends. Next one, statement to be published on the website. Statement to be published on the website of a company regarding details of shareholders who didn't claim dividends. Let's see. Next one. During the current year, is Vasudha Private Limited required to constitute CSR committee? For this also we need to study case scenario. Next, question 3. What is the implication of the fact that Prakash Limited has not paid dividends for the last 4 years while having reserves? Having reserves, but last 3 years dividends were not paid. This also we'll see scenario. Next one. Considering legal provisions regarding constitution of CSR committee, one constituted by Vasudha Private Limited. What is the nature of company? Private Limited. So actually CSR committee shall have 3 directors. One should be independent director. But we are talking about Private Limited. Private Limited will have minimum 2 directors. No need of independent directors. So accordingly you can select the option. Constitution of committee, invalid, valid. It depends purely upon discretion of management. Constitution of committee is valid because company is not required to appoint an independent director. This might be right answer. We'll see scenario. What is the minimum amount to be spent by Vasudha Private Limited on CSR activities for financial year 24-25? For this also we need to see scenario. Now, after looking these 5 questions, our requirement is calculation of CSR, first thing. Second thing is payment of dividends out of free reserves. Next one, constitution of CSR committee. And next one, transfer of unpaid dividends, statement to be published on the website. Now we'll see scenario. Now you can identify the points that are relevant for answering MCQs. Same practice you implement in your examination also. Prakash Limited, Vasudha Private Limited were incorporated in January 1999 by Mr. Vicky Tripathi and his family members. Both are companies engaged in the business of manufacturing machineries used in agriculture sector. Mr. Vicky Tripathi and his younger brother Vinay Tripathi actively participated in daily operations of both the companies. Vasudha Private Limited is wholly owned by Tripathi family. It is wholly owned by Tripathi family. That means it is not a subsidiary to public company. First of all, 100% of capital was held by individuals, Tripathi family. while Tripathi family has a majority stake of 51% in Prakash Limited. Now there is no status of, there is no relationship of holding subsidiary. Sir, 51% stake is there? No. Who is Tripathi family? Individuals or body corporates? Individuals. Only body corporate gets status of holding company. Remember the point? Due to poor economic conditions in the agriculture sector, shifting of farmers' focus to more advanced farming techniques, the sales of Prakash Limited is dipping and its bottom line has been in red for the last couple of years. The unabsorbed loss of Prakash Limited for current year is 9.8 crore. What is current year loss? 9.8 crore. Prakash Limited did not pay any dividends during the last 4 years. Prakash Limited has accumulated profit of free reserves of 180 crores, whereas paid up share capital is 918 crores as per latest audited financial statements. We should consider latest audited financial statements. Ignore provisionals. And loss of 9.8 crore has not been deducted from such amount of free reserves since pressure from shareholders of the free float is mounting. Management at Prakash Limited decided to pay dividend this year out of accumulated profits. If you didn't see those questions, by reading this paragraph, you might have started solving the problem. How much amount you can withdraw, how much amount company is allowed to withdraw from free reserves. You will apply those 3 rules, you will calculate the amount, but in the question that is not there. So that means up to here, not at all relevant. First thing. Finally, the dividend was declared on 31st August. Some of the dividend remain unpaid as on 30th September 2024. What is the time limit for payment of declared dividends? 30 days from the date of declaration of dividend. And 30 days, while counting 30 days, as per General Clauses Act 1897, from date is excluded, to date is included. That means 30th September is the due date for payment of dividends. On account of operation law, this was transferred to unpaid dividend account and a statement containing only name of such beneficiaries was hosted on the website of company. But if you remember the provision, if you remember section 124, section 123, 124, statement should contain not only names of the beneficiaries but also their latest available addresses. Everyone, hello? Statement should contain name of the beneficiaries, sufficient. Name of beneficiaries plus latest available address, latest available address. So that means this mistake was there is a one mistake. Now if you look at question number 1, out of 4 options, correct option is option C. Prakash Limited is guilty because list of beneficiaries does not contain latest known address of beneficiaries and the amount unpaid. These details are not there. Now first question completed. Understood? Next, let me continue this story. Vasudha Private Limited is a mid-sized unlisted entity with few branches abroad and is not required to appoint independent director. Company is not having independent director. Under section 149 subsection 4, during immediately preceding financial year, its net worth was 280 crores. How much is the net worth? Turnover 590 and net profit 45.8. Tell me applicability of CSR. What are the limits, ma? Net worth 500, turnover 1000, net profit 5. So 2 limits not satisfied, 1 limit satisfied. Now CSR applicable or not applicable? Any limit is getting satisfied, CSR is applicable. The profits and the other information for the immediately preceding 3 years are given below. That means you need to average these 3 years profits. Listen carefully. You need to average latest 3 years profits and on that apply 2%. Just take calculator and calculate. 41.6 plus, come on speed, 41.6 plus 42.9 plus 28 divided by 3. Don't forget to apply divided by 3 into 2%. How much is the amount? 0.75. So if you look at the options, 75 lakhs. What is the minimum amount to be spent by Vasudha Limited on CSR activities for financial year 24-25? It is 75 lakhs. 5th question over. 4th question already I told you. Private Limited, if it is having 2 directors and if it is not having independent director, then in CSR committee, independent director is not required. So option D. Option D. Suppose if they are having independent director, let him come to the committee. So that committee will have independent director. In the question it was clearly mentioned, company is not required to have independent director and company is not having independent director. Now which option is correct? D. Next one, question 3. What is the implication of the fact that Prakash Limited has not paid dividends for the last 4 years while having free reserves? Now let's see the options. The company is in violation of Companies Act for not declaring dividends. Ma, if you listen, continue. Ma, is there any violation in the is there any clause in the Companies Act prohibiting companies from not declaring dividends? That means company not declaring dividends, is it a violation in the Companies Act, ma? It is a violation. It is a violation or not a violation? Not a violation. So this option is incorrect. Shareholders can legally challenge the management for not utilizing free reserves for dividends. Whatever rate recommended by board can be approved by members. They cannot increase the rate of dividend. That means this is also wrong option. Company must now use all of its free reserves to pay dividends to satisfy shareholder demands. All of its reserves, how it can utilize, post withdrawal from free reserves, the limit should be 15% of paid up share capital. And what is the paid up share capital in the question? If you look at question, paid up share capital is 918 crores. 918 crores into 15%, some 135 to 140 crores, odd figure it will come. So 3 options are incorrect, ma. Now let's see another option. There is no legal obligation to declare dividends even if company has free reserves. Out of 4 options, C is the best option. 3 options are incorrect. C is the best possible option. Suppose last 3 years, if rate of dividend is, if there is no dividend, then that condition, average rate of dividends, is not applicable. Do you remember or not? Average rate of dividends, that condition will not apply. So now, second question. During current year, is Vasudha Private Limited required to constitute CSR committee? No, because it's a private company. Incorrect. No, because its net worth is less than 500 crores. Incorrect. Turnover above 500 crores. Turnover limit is 1000 crores. Option itself is incorrect. Yes, because company meets threshold criteria having net profits exceeding 5 crores. And CSR committee is required because CSR obligation is 75 lakhs. You know the limit of 50 lakhs, right? In case of 50 lakhs, CSR committee not required. Board of directors can take care of those activities. One case scenario I completed. Second case scenario, same we will apply for second case scenario also. First we will see questions. Are you comfortable? When Anshul joined Educom Innovators LLP, Anshul partner joined LLP, he discovered that key compliance filings including annual returns, statement of accounts and solvency were pending. That means there is a default in filing annual returns, and these defaults happen after Anshul admitting into the partner, before Anshul is getting admitted into the partner, before admission, because he already he discovered that certain filings are pending. What is Anshul liability as a newly admitted partner? Newly admitted partner, his liability will begin from date of admission. His liability will not for his liability with respect to preceding acts will not apply. Accordingly, we'll see options. Anshul has no liability for past performance, for past compliance lapses, since he was not a partner when they occurred. So this is best option. Let's see others. Anshul shares equal liability for past compliances lapses because he is now a partner in LLP. Incorrect. Equal losses, no. Equal liability. Is only liable if LLP agreement specifically assigns responsibility to him for compliance. Ratification here it is not possible, because ratification should not damage third party interest. Essential elements of ratification, if you remember, because of ratification, third party interest should not be at risk. Anshul liability for past compliance is limited to his capital contribution. This is also wrong option. So A is correct option. Now for solving this MCQ, no need to read a case scenario. Next one. In light of Anshul's concern about pending complaints filings, which of the following best describes the responsibilities of the partners in LLP regarding compliance with the LLP Act 2008? Only designated partners are responsible for ensuring compliance with filing obligations under LLP Act. Correct. With respect to filings, designated partners are having a responsibility. all partners including new partners like Anshul are equally responsible. All partners, not correct option. Compliance responsibilities can be assigned to one partner. No, that option is also not there. Only designated partner is responsible. By default, designated partner is responsible for all compliances, all filings. The legal advisor is responsible. LLP partner playing punishment on legal advisor. This is also incorrect option. Which is correct option? A. No need to read case scenario for this. Suppose in the given scenario, Educom Innovators LLP fails to file statement of account and solvency for any 5 consecutive financial years. 5 years, consecutive financial years. Then it can be wound up by the order of tribunal. You remember? Educom Innovators LLP may be wound up by the tribunal. Takeover, revocation of rights, losses for these 5 years shall be shared equally by partners. These options are not there. Only one thing, LLP can be wound up. So completed scenario, no, completed 3 MCQs without reading scenario. So this time you can save. Next, case scenario 3. First we will see questions. If required, we will go with the case scenario. According to section 27 of General Clauses Act, what 3 conditions must be fulfilled for a service by post to be deemed effective? Service by post, 3 conditions. Addressed, prepaid, registered post. So select the option B. Okay. Next, in the case of United Commercial Bank versus Beam Sain Makija, why was the presumption of service under registered post found to be insufficient? Whether this case study is there or not, let's see. United Commercial Bank. In the scenario, United Commercial Bank, yes. It was noted that merely sending a notice by registered post without acknowledgement due did not provide sufficient legal protection for proving service. So in this case study, what was proved? A registered post with acknowledgement due they need, or without acknowledgement they need? With acknowledgement they need. They want with acknowledgement. You know, without acknowledgement is not providing sufficient protection. That means sufficient protection is available only if that registered post is sent with acknowledgement due. Now we'll select accordingly the option. Registered post found to be insufficient. Why? Because notice was sent by ordinary post. In the question it was clearly mentioned registered post, wrong. Notice was sent by registered post but not with acknowledgement due. This is the correct option. Wrong address, recipient did not respond. That points are not there in the case study. So B is the correct option. Next, what does the case of Jagdish Singh and Nattu Singh demonstrate about the service of notice? Jagdish Singh, Nattu Singh. The case demonstrated that if a notice is sent by registered post was returned with a refusal endorsement, it was considered served. We'll see options. Notice sent by registered post without return endorsement is invalid. That is not there in case study solution. Notice sent by registered post and returned with refusal endorsement is deemed served. B is the correct answer. So to these 2 questions, case scenario is required. Next, independent case scenario questions. Let's see. ABC Private Limited is a project engineering, procurement and construction of company. The company has bagged a contract from Government of State of Kerala for construction of water dam. The company has evolved a project consultancy firm situated in Australia for preparing techno-economic feasibility report to enable it to start consultation work of the dam. And company had paid USD 7 million USD to vendor of Australia. Consultancy services, okay. Dam, will it come under infra or other than infra? Definitely infra. For infra, up to which limit RBI approval is not required? 10 million USD. Exceeding 10 million USD, RBI prior approval is required. So therefore, for 7 lakh RBI prior approval, not required. The company also availed services of software company situated in Denmark for migration of its accounting software. What is the service? Accounting software. So that is service other than infra projects. Other than infra projects, what is the permissible limit without which approval not required? Without RBI approval, up to which limit permissible? 1 million USD. And what is the amount mentioned here? 2 million USD. First tell me, withdrawal of 2 million USD, possible or not possible? Possible. But for that prior approval of RBI is required. So 2 transactions are there. One is for infra consultancy services, other one is accounting software consultancy services. based on this, 7 lakh USD, sorry, 7 million USD, 2 million USD without any approval, wrong. Can make payment of 7 million USD without any approval and 2 million USD after obtaining prior approval of RBI, correct option. Everyone? Next, Mr. Srinivas had enrolled himself for management course of 3 years with IOL Mumbai. Out of 3 years, 2 years of educational course would be provided at the campus of IOL Mumbai and 1 year of educational course would be provided at University of Auckland under student exchange program. Mr. Srinivas is required to pay tuition fees of 10 lakh rupees directly to IOL. This is Indian currency only. It's not foreign exchange. Mumbai for 2 years and USD 2 million USD to the University of Auckland. Okay. Mr. Srinivas had left India on 20th August 2022 to complete his degree from University of Auckland. So what is the purpose of leaving country? Is it falling under employment? No. Business? No. With an intention to stay abroad outside India for uncertain period? No. But if you observe, it is coming under education. RBI gave a special circular. Any student leaving India for the purpose of higher studies abroad, from the date he left country, he is assumed to be non-resident and he is a non-resident. Okay, that means, from 20th August 2022 onwards, non-resident. He got an offer from one of the reputed companies situated in Auckland and accepted the offer. He decided to work there. So he became employee. On 1st September 2023, Mr. Srinivas visited India only for 30 days to meet his family and on 1st October left India to carry on his employment. Now he visited India, okay. What is the purpose of visit? Job in India? No. Business in India? No. To stay in India for uncertain period? No. That means he is non-resident only. From 20th August 2022 onwards, non-resident. Let's see options. Financial year 23-24, 24-25, he will be treated as resident. No. He will be treated as resident for 22-23, 23-24. So which year, ma? Here, look at the date, financial year 2022-23. Subsequently, he is non-resident. From financial year 22-23 onwards, he is non-resident. Of course, he is resident up to 20th August. But 20th August onwards, he is a non-resident. Let's see the options. Mr. Srinivas to be treated as non-resident for financial year 23-24. Yes, for financial year 23-24, he is non-resident only. And financial year 24-25, as he left India for higher studies. Suitable option. Let's see another option also. For financial year 23-24, he is non-resident, correct? Yes. 24-25 also non-resident. But here, higher studies point is mentioned for financial year 24-25. In 23-24 itself, he got a job. Yes, 23-24 itself, he got a job. So let's see another option. Mr. Srinivas to be treated as resident in India for financial year 23-24 since he stays in India for more than 182 days and non-resident for financial year 24-25. So if you observe option D, period of stay 182 days, preceding financial year, period of stay 182 days, that condition is applicable general cases. But if you are falling under exceptions, not applicable, correct? That means for financial year 24-25, he is a non-resident, whereas financial year 23-23, he is a resident. This is also wrong option. So the correct option is option C. Okay, for higher studies, he left India financial year 22-23. Okay, with respect to years, with respect to details of leaving India higher studies, it might not be correct. But the correct option is option C. Understood, everyone? Any doubt? Option C is correct. Option D incorrect. Reason, he is falling under exceptions. If he is falling under exceptions, even though his period of stay in preceding financial year is 365 days, but still current year he will be treated as non-resident. Okay, next. Green Tree Limited is planning to issue debentures to the public and as per the legal requirements must appoint a legal debenture trustee. Remember disqualifications of trustee? Before making an offer, the company is considering several individuals for this role. Mr. Sharma, who owns a small number of shares, holding one share, beneficial interest, disqualified. Kapoor, who previously lent 5,000 rupees to Green Tea Limited, he is a creditor, disqualified. Mr. Verma, who has provided a personal guarantee to ensure repayment of debentures, surety disqualified. That means all are disqualified. No one is eligible to act as debenture trustee. So accordingly, option D is the right answer. None of these three people are eligible to be appointed as trustee of Green Tea Limited. Can I proceed? Any doubt with respect to person resident in India? Can I repeat it one time, or can I proceed? Okay, next one. Question 15. Best Limited initially created a charge in favor of LKJ Bank for a financial facility. This charge was duly registered. A few months back, LKG Bank enhanced credit facility by additional 40 crores. However, due to an oversight, company failed to register modification to the original charge with the registrar of companies. Company has now realized this error and is concerned about potential impact on its records and compliances. So if you observe carefully, failed to register modification onto the original charge with ROC, and company has now realized there is a error in previous filings. If you remember, omissions, misstatements in previous filings, delay in filing satisfaction of charges with ROC, of course this can be condoned by CG, powers granted to CG under the last section of registration of charges. So what is the last section of charges? 87. So this error word is important, ma. If you are able to identify this error, then you can remember section 87. Accordingly, you can select a best option. Ignore the oversight since original charge was registered. No. For modification also section 77 is applicable. Re-register only original charge was with the updated facility amount. Okay. File an application with CG for rectification of register of charges. Contact LKG Bank to withdraw enhanced facility until registration is completed. D will not happen first of all. A, ignore, it's not correct. Re-register only original charge. Original charge re-registration, it is not possible. If any error is there, file an application with CG. CG will give permission to you to rectify the errors. So accordingly, correct option is C. So MCQs part over. Next, descriptive questions. Alpha Limited was incorporated on 1st October 2019 with a paid up share capital of 200 crores. Within the small time of 4 months, it has earned huge profits and topped the charts for its high employee friendly environment. Company wants to issue sweat equity shares to its employees. A friend of CEO of the company has told him that he cannot issue sweat equity as 5 years has not elapsed since the time company has commenced its business. CEO of the company has approached you to advise them about the essential conditions to be fulfilled before issue of sweat equity shares. Do you remember conditions? SWEAT. S for special resolution, working employees, existing equity shares, AOA authorization, time limit. How many months? Validity of the resolution, 12 months. You remember? Now, I told you one point clearly. When original act was enacted, up to 1 year of incorporation, company is prohibited from issuing sweat equity shares. But this is creating burden to startup companies. They should wait for 1 year. They are prohibited from issuing sweat equity shares up to 1 year of incorporation. That's why amendment, that 1 year condition was eliminated. So now tell me, do you think a CEO friend gave correct advisor? No. So he can allot shares even on day 1 of incorporation under sweat equity. Getting my point? Next, examine the following situations in the light of Companies Act 2013. Mr. Prem, a chartered accountant, has been appointed as an auditor of A Limited in AGM of the company held in September 2023, in which he accepted the assignment. Subsequently, in January 24, he joined as a partner in the consultancy firm, where Mr. Ajay is also a partner. Mr. Ajay is a working financial executive of A Limited. What happened? Partner of the firm is an employee or is an officer of the company. Now entire partnership gets disqualified. It leads to automatic vacancy in audit office. Yes or no? Is it a disqualification at the time of appointment or subsequent to appointment? Subsequent appointment. Auditor should not possess disqualifications during his tenure. Any disqualification he possesses, automatic vacancy. But there is one exception. If relative to auditor is holding, if relative to the person is holding a face value of shares exceeding 1 lakh rupee, 60 days time limit is given for making corrective action. Next, Mr. Tom, a practicing chartered accountant, holds securities in B Limited with a face value of 1 lakh. Considering this, can Mr. Tom be appointed as an auditor? Here, person himself is holding a securities. Even one share he holds, he is disqualified. Understood? And it's very important to remember not only company, group companies, company, associate, subsidiary, holding. Understood? You remember the point? Subsidiary to holding company. Next one. FEMA. A requires US $5,000 for remittances towards hiring charges of transponders. Tell me, schedule 1 or 2 or 3 of this? 2. Prior intimation. Prior approval of Government of India is required. B requires 2000 USD for payment related to callback services. Schedule 1, prohibited service. Prohibited current account transactions. Understood? Maximum question will come from, question will be asked on residential status. Next, current account transactions. Maximum. If any needed, they may test you on foreign exchange, foreign security, and capital account transactions. The entire FEMA is of only these 4 topics only. Residential status, some other 2 definitions, foreign exchange and foreign security. Next, current account transactions, capital account transactions. Understood? Next, Mr. Romit is an employee of PQR Trading Limited. As per contract of employment, his annual salary is 5 lakh rupees. Mr. Romit paid to company 5,30,000 in the nature of non-interest bearing security deposit. Employee security deposit. It is about employee security deposit. Referring to provisions of Companies Act 2013, decide whether this amount received from Romit will be considered as deposit as per Rule 2, Sub Rule 1. Deposit or not a depositor? Look at the condition. Non-interest bearing, maximum annual salary. What is the annual salary? And how much amount he deposited? Exceeding up. Exceeding means it becomes deposit. It is an exempted deposit if it is not exceeding up to annual salary plus no interest. Understood? Suppose would your answer change if the deposit amount is 4,30,000 and company agreed to pay interest on the deposit? Now also there is no change in answer. It is a deposit. Getting my point? Exempted deposits, MNO Limited are finalizing its financial statements and found that value of one of its properties has increased. Company came across certain transactions, also got confused as to what would be included as free reserves, and company has approached you to define to them the meaning of free reserves. Free reserves excludes notional gains, unrealized gains, revaluation profits. Revaluation reserves. Also excludes miscellaneous assets. Also excludes carried profit and loss debit balance, negative balance of P&L. Understood? Explain the meaning with reference to provisions of General Clauses Act. Movable property. Any property by description except immobile property. Yes or no? Oath includes affirmation, declaration, but excludes swearing. Instead of swearing, you remember? 4 marks, simple definitions. Once again I am telling you, in General Clauses Act, how many parts we are having? 2 parts. Definitions, general rules of construction. From definitions you will get 4 marks question. From general rules of construction you will get 4 marks. See, General Clauses Act is the easiest chapter in other laws. Easiest chapter, because no need to apply mind here. Just you need to remember the content, you need to apply it, that's it. You need to remember the content and that's it, as it is. Definitions you can write as it is. Okay? So General Clauses Act, don't take choice. If you want to take choice, we had one chapter for taking choice. Interpretation. That too, question is coming on rules of, primary rules of construction, secondary rules of construction. Don't ignore, just write. Next one, explain the provisions of Companies Act 2013. Who can get a license to operate as a Section 8 company? Tell me conditions of Section 8 company. 3 conditions. Object clause, SARC, I told you. Social welfare, art, religion, culture, education, environment protection, commerce, etc. Next one, surplus, distribution of dividends possible, or declaration and payment of dividends prohibited. Then what we should do with surplus? Apply surplus in promoting other objects. Write 3 conditions, 5 marks. Verma Limited has equity share capital of 20,000 shares of 10 rupees each. Company has received a requisition from Mr. Jai and Mr. Narayan, each holding 3,000 shares. Requisition, they are talking about requisition. Total number of shares 20,000. And how many shares these people are holding? 2,000. 2000 divided by 30, I'm sorry, 3000 divided by 20,000 means obviously greater than 1/10 of the capital only. That means requisition valid or invalid? Valid. To call an AGM to remove MD of company who has been found to be involved in some malpractices. Company failed to call the said meeting. The requisition is desired to call meeting by themselves to pass the resolution to remove MD. Explain validity of such resolution passed in the said meeting, referring to the provisions of Companies Act 2013. They can call for a meeting within 3 months of date of requisition. First of all, requisition is valid. Why? We need just 1/10 of the paid up share capital. Condition satisfied. Explanation added to a section within the ambit of section 4 marks. Interpretation of statutes, direct theory question. Explanation, internal aid. Next, Anuj Limited declared a final dividend to its shareholders at AGM on 1st August 2024. As per decision, the dividend payment was to be made within a stipulated 30-day period. However, due to internal financial constraints, the company failed to pay declared dividend and did not dispatch dividend warrants to the shareholders within required time frame. Default continued until 15th October, leading to shareholder complaints. In the light of this scenario, what specific punishments and liabilities could company and directors face due to failure to pay declared dividend within 30 days period? Give your answer as per provisions of Companies Act. Company interest how much? 18%. Directors imprisonment up to how many years? 2 years. And directors for everyday default 1000 rupees they need to pay penalty. Okay, 3 points you need to write. 3 points. 18% interest, imprisonment up to 2 years, and fine penalty 1000 rupees per day during such default continues. 5 marks. Define the term financial year as per LLP. LLP, they are asking you LLP. Incorporation after 30th September, then 31st March of following financial year is the closure of first financial year. In all other cases, 31st March of relevant financial year. Remember, 5 marks. Effect of proviso, does it qualify the main provisions of enactment? Proviso, it is a internal aid interpretation of statutes. Next one, Kishore Kanchik, Yuvan Bora were partners in ABC and Associates LLP. Yuvan resigned from firm effective from 11th November 2024. LLP, no resignation, 11th November 2024. But this was not informed to ROC by LLP or Yuvan. Whether Yuvan will be still liable for the loss of firm or the transactions entered after 11th November 2024? Yes. Until intimation is given to the outsiders, intimation is given to ROC, the former partner is assumed to be partner. Accordingly, his liability will continue subsequent to resignation also. Auditor of ABC Limited, not a government company, has resigned on 31st December 2023. Government company, non-government company? While the financial year of company ends on 31st March 2024, explain how such an auditor shall be appointed as per provisions of Companies Act 2013. Casual vacancy to be filled within 30 days by board, but this casual vacancy is arising due to resignation, so later it should be ratified by members within 3 months of board recommendation. But this is a waste question, you know. If I'm an exam paper setter, you know, I would have asked, state the duties of resigning auditor as per Companies Act 2013. I will ask, in case of resignation, what is the duty of auditor? Communicate with ROC, communicate with a company. Yes, after resignation only. Yes or no? And punishment also important here. Okay, fine. So this is all about filling up casual vacancy in case of non-government company, and vacancy is due to resignation. Suppose if it is a government company, C&DG fails, board. Remember. What do you understand by the term good faith as per General Clauses Act? Act done honestly, even with or without negligence. Next one, examine the validity of following decisions of the board of directors. First one, in AGM, 80 members present in person or by proxy holding more than 1/10 of total voting power demanded for poll. Chairman of the meeting rejected the request on the ground only members present in person can demand for poll. Tell me, 109, who can demand poll? Specified persons. Who can be specified persons? Members as well as proxy. That means chairman contention, valida invalida? Invalid. Okay. ABC Limited served a notice to general meeting upon its members. The notice stated that a resolution to increase share capital of the company would be considered at such meeting. Raj, a shareholder of the company, complained that the amount of proposed increase was not specified in the notice. Details about a business item was not specified in the notice. That means extra information, justification was not given. Where we give justification? Explanatory statement. Without explanatory statement, can a special business be transacted at general meeting? That means contention of a member, valida, invalida? Notice, valida, invalida? Invalid. Notice is invalid. Contention of the member is valid. Which section? 101 plus 102. Explain provisions of Companies Act 2013. Company registration of Foreign Company Rules 2014 in respect of audit of accounts of foreign company. Accounts similar to section 128. Yes or no? Financial statements similar to section 129. Audit and auditors similar to chapter 10. Chapter 10. Who can do audit of these entities? Practicing chartered accountant or a firm of chartered accountants or LLP. And that audit is as per chapter 10 of Companies Act 2013. Simply giving reference to chapter 10. Next one, explain the meaning of term current account transactions as defined under FEMA. Definition of current account transaction. It's a transaction other than, and you have to write 4 items. If you write 4 items and if you write the definition, 4 marks. So with this, first MTP completed, MTP 1 completed. Next, let's see MTP 2. MTP 2, paper 2, corporate and other laws. Here also we apply same strategy for case scenario based questions. And case scenario 1, I didn't narrated this story but unfortunately my name is here. So I told you many times Mr. V is a brand name. Okay, fine. First we'll see MCQs. MCQs, first one. Since Vani, being insane, who is Vani? We'll see, lost the capacity to contract, Mr. V, who was nominee, became the member of OPC2. Now, who will make nomination for this OPC? Ma, what is the question, ma? Member became insane, nominee became member. Now there is a vacancy in nomination clause. Who appoints nominee to that vacancy? Who appoints nominee? Central government, state government, ROC, RD? Who will appoint nominee? Member of the company. Member of the company only. So Mr. V, in the capacity of husband of Vani, can nominate any person as nominee of OPC2. Mr. V, who was nominee of OPC2, has now become member of this OPC, and now as a member of OPC, he can nominate any person as per his choice as nominee for this OPC. When no person is nominated, CG will make nomination of such OPC2. This is not there. When no person is nominated, ROC shall order the company to be wound up. This is also not there. Now 2 options are there. One is in the capacity of husband, one is in the capacity of a member. Capacity of husband is not recognized in law. So obviously option B is the correct answer. Everyone? Next one, second question. Whether conversion of OPC into a company governed by Section 8 is permissible or not permissible? OPC conversion into Section 8 company. OPC cannot carry Section 8 activities, NBFC activities, investment in other body corporates. Yes, wrong. No, cannot be converted into Section 8 company. B is the correct option. Question 3. Mr. V is a member in OPC 1 and became a member in another OPC, OPC 2, when on 2nd April 2024 by virtue of his being a nominee in that OPC 2. Ma, here 2 OPCs are there, ma. First OPC, it was who is the member of this OPC? V. In OPC 2, second OPC, Mr. V is a nominee. Mr. V is a nominee. But by virtue of nominee, he became member in this OPC. Now in how many OPCs he is holding membership? 2 OPCs. Corrective action should be taken within how many days? Exactly 180 days. Now we'll count, when he became member, 2nd April. So in that, in April we are having 30 days. So 2nd April, 2 days ignore, 28 April, May month 31, June 30, July 31, August 31. So count up to here first. 151. And for 180, how many days we need extra? 29. So plus 29. So that means 29 September, option D. Correct? Everyone? No need to read case scenario. After demise of Sudha, Vani was nominated by Mr. V for OPC as nominee. But now Vani has become insane. So what recourse you will suggest to Mr. V? You know, nominee expired here. Immediately, Vani was nominated by V as nominee. That means, V was appointed as a nominee. Vani was appointed as nominee. Later, Vani became insane. Now again there is a vacancy. So who can appoint with that? Who can fill that vacancy? Vani has become insane. So what recourse available? Mr. V is required to nominate another person as nominee. Correct? Mr. V should wait till Vani becomes good for her health and able to have capacity to the contract. Within 30 days of vacancy should be filled. Communication with within 15 days. Within 15 days of vacancy should be filled. Within 30 days, communication with ROC should also be done. B, wrong option. Although Vani has become insane, but if she is able to sign, her nomination in OPC1, she may continue. Definitely. Insane members, if you show lollipop, if you ask, come on, give me your property, definitely they will give you property. Sundaram, chartered accountant who helped in incorporation of OPC1, may act as a legal consultant on behalf of Vani. Oh my God, how he is getting these kind of options? Nominee becomes insane now. If there is any vacancy, at the discretionary powers of member, he can nominate any person as a nominee. Need not be a family member. But nominee should be minor or should not be a minor? Should not be a minor. Option A is the correct option. Mr. V is preparing financial statements for ASKV Online Grocery OPC Private Limited for the financial year. Which of the following statements is correct regarding compliance with section 129? What is section 129? Financial statements. Financial statements of OPC1 must include a CFS. OPC financial statements exclude CFS, not only OPC. Startup companies, small companies, dormant companies, all these are exempted from preparing CFS. There is a point that private limited, less than 100 crores paid up share capital. Less than 100 crores. Where this point is there? Can you? Private limited company with the paid up share capital less than 100 crores. Not counted for the purpose of ceiling limit of auditor. 20 companies limit is there, right? Ceiling limit, how many companies? 20. While counting 20, private limited company with paid up share capital less than, it's not less than or equal to, less than 100 crores is excluded. Okay. Option A, wrong. Financial statement must be presented and approved by general meeting. OPC exempted from general meeting. Wrong option. Mr. V as sole director is responsible for approving the financial statements before filing with ROC. Correct. CFS must be prepared. CFS must be prepared. It is prohibited from carrying investment activities. Then how it can hold subsidiaries? No. So option C is correct answer. Can I? Without reading scenario, 5 questions we answered. Okay. So can I proceed? This box, even if you look at this box, you can answer those questions also. Summary of the paragraph was given. Next, case scenario 2. Similarly, we'll see first MCQs. Can partner A legally transfer their share of profits and losses to Mr. X? Section 42, do you remember? Transfer of partner's interest. Transfer possible or not possible? Possible or not possible? No, partner A cannot transfer without consent of all other partners. Not available. Yes, partner A can transfer his share entirely in accordance with the LLP agreement. In accordance with LLP agreement, definitely that's a correct answer. Rights and duties of a partners and LLP decided by LLP agreement. If LLP agreement is absent with respect to any clause, first schedule. No such transfers are not allowed under LLP Act. Who said transfer is permitted? Wrong option. Yes, only if Mr. X becomes a partner in LLP. That clause is also not there. You can transfer interest, but transferee is not entitled to participate in management activities unless he got admitted into LLP as per LLP agreement. I told you this point 2 to 3 times. Next. Does the transfer of partner A share to Mr. X result in dissolution of DEF LLP? Separate legal entity, no dissolution. Yes, transferring all rights indicates partner A's disassociation. No. No, because of LLP Act 2008 does not consider such transfers as grounds for dissolution. Next one, yes, because all partners must agree to such transfers to avoid dissolution. And last one, no, unless it is explicitly stated in LLP agreement. So out of 4 options, B is correct option. Everyone, last 1 hour. Concentrate. Does Mr. X gain any right to participate in DE? Does Mr. X gain any right to participate in DEF LLP's management or access its financial records? Who is Mr. X in the given scenario? Transferee. Is transferee entitled to participate in management rights? We'll see options. Yes, he now holds partner A share in LLP. Not correct. Now listen carefully. No, unless expressly allowed by LLP agreement. Suitable option. Let's see other options. Yes, because it is essential to safeguard his investment. Not there. Exceptions also not there. Yes, as external transferees are automatically included in LLP management. This is also not there. So B is a correct option. So here also we didn't read case scenario. Next, similarly, next, with respect to property being purchased by STPL, which of the following would not qualify as immovable property? That means out of 4 options, 3 are immovable properties. Only 1 is not immovable property. Let's see. Fruit bearing trees, immovable property. Motor car, mobile. 3-story building attached to the earth. Agriculture land, immovable. So option B. The government notifications requires clearance within 45 days. If the notification was received on 20th March 24 and the 45th day falls on Sunday, that is May 4, 2024, what would be the last date? Next day. 4th May, next day is nothing but 5th May. Clear? Concerning the previous orders under Repealed Technology Parks Act, which statement is correct? About repeal they are asking. Repeal shall not affect, shall not revive previous laws, previous repealed laws. Repeal shall not affect pending prosecutions, shall not affect previous operations, previous rights, previous punishments. Correct? All previous orders automatically become void. Previous orders continue to be valid unless explicitly cancelled. Correct? Next one, correct. Previous orders require fresh validation. Not there. Previous orders are valid only 6 months after repeal. This point is also not there. Okay, next. Independent case scenario questions. AGM of Green Limited was held on 31st August 2024. Suppose chairman of the company after 2 days of AGM went abroad for next 31 days. Chairman not available. Due to unavailability of chairman within the prescribed time period for submission of copy of report of AGM. You know, copy of report of AGM, we are talking about a listed company might be. Okay. With the registrar, the report as required was signed by 2 directors of the company, of which one was additional director. One should be managing director. Comment on the signing of this report. Yes, signing valid. No, no, signing is not in order. Only chairman is authorized. No. Chairman, we had another option. 2 directors option is there. Yes, signing is in order. Actually, signing is not in order. No, signing is not in order, since in case chairman is unable to sign, report shall be signed by any 2 directors of the company, one of whom shall be MD if there is one, and company secretary of the company. So option D. Clear? Next one. Sneha, a resident of India, wants to invest her savings. She considers buying shares of US based company to benefit from growing tech market. She is unsure if such an investment is allowed under FEMA or not. Investments means capital account transactions. If you look schedule 1 by residents, investments outside India are allowed, permitted only. Prohibited capital account transactions is only for non-residents. 5 transactions are there. It is for non-residents only. Everyone. Schedule 1 current account transactions is for all. Schedule 1 current account transactions, prohibited current account transactions for everyone. Whereas capital account transaction prohibition is only on non-residents. Chit fund, nidhi, agriculture. Next one, transferable development rights, real estate. Next one. So out of this, you know, which is the correct option, ma? Yes, such investments are allowed. 14th one, Rahul, a resident of India and an avid horse racing enthusiast, earns 5 lakh rupee as prize money from international horse racing event held in Dubai. He wants to remit this amount to his personal forex for future international race entries and training. He consults his banker to confirm transaction to be permissible under FEMA. Winnings, remittances of lottery winnings, remittances from horse race winning, bike race winning, prohibited magazines, football, pool ball. You remember? Permitted or prohibited? No, as remittance of income from racing, riding, or any other hobby is prohibited. Option B. 15th one. Mr. Mudit works as an employee. In previous MTP, you told wrong answer to this question. At least you try now. Mr. Mudit works an employee at ABC Private Limited with an annual salary of 3 lakhs as specified in his employment contract. Mr. Mudit paid to company 3.5 lakh in the nature of non-interest bearing security deposit. Giving regard to the provisions of the Companies Act 2013, choose correct option out of the following. Deposit or not a depositor? Deposit or not a depositor? Why a deposit? Exceeding annual salary. Exceeding annual salary. Now deposit is a valid transaction since it is a non-interest bearing, but limit is not prescribed. Deposit violates the Companies Act because company cannot accept deposit from employees. Companies can accept deposits. Company can accept deposits from employees not exceeding annual salary, non-interest bearing deposit. So this is the wrong option. Deposit violates Companies Act 2013 as amount exceeds Mr. Mudit annual salary. C. Can I? Descriptive questions. North Private Limited is a startup company. Mr. P has been appointed as accounts manager, startup company. Board meeting for approval of accounts is to be held on 1st August 24. For this, he has to prepare financial statements for approval by board. Referring to section 2 clause 40 of Companies Act, advise Mr. P about statements that are required to be prepared. It's a startup company. Financial statements. Financial statements exclude cash flow statement for startup. Understood? So, this is a question with respect to definition of financial statements. Section 2 clause 40 means this question is from which chapter? Preliminary. Section 2 consists of, section 2 is a part of preliminary chapter. Mr. Ramachandra is a partner and in charge and certifies financial statements of A and Associates. So, Mr. Ramachandra is a partner of A and Associates. Firm is appointed as an audit firm of Badri Limited listed company. Okay. Ramachandra retires from A and Associates and after some time join Gupta and Gupta firm. It's like, resigning from one firm, adding to another firm, and this is a listed company. That means question is all about rotation of auditors. Okay. On 20th May 24, in general meeting of Badri Limited held on 15th June 24, the company appointed Gupta and Gupta firm as next auditor to the company. Tell me whether appointment valid or invalid. There should be no connection between incoming firm and outgoing firm. Even if they operate under common networks, common owner, common brand, and incoming partner, retiring partner resigned in that firm and admitted in a new firm, that new firm is also said to be disqualified. Referring to the provisions of FEMA, state the kind of approval required for payment of commission of $20,000 on exports made towards, come on, tell me, towards equity investment in joint ventures. Fully prohibited. Correct. Fully prohibited. If it is connected to rupees state credit route, then also prohibited. But if it is connected to tea and tobacco, rupees state route credit, up to 10% of invoice value allowed. Suppose I'm exporting tea and tobacco to other countries, not under rupees state credit route. Now this limit apply to me, 10% limit apply to me? No. Getting my point? Everyone. Only for tea and tobacco 10% is permitted, only under which route? Rupees state credit route. So here towards equity investment in joint ventures, logic is very simple. India is getting nothing. India is getting nothing regarding foreign exchange. Samai Publishing Limited facing acute cash crunch wants to utilize portion of, oh my god, deposit repayment reserve account to pay off its short-term creditors who are pressing hard for a repayment of 20 lakhs. How this narrated story, is it justified to use funds? Cash crunch ma, hard pressing from creditors. Possible or not possible? DRR can be utilized only for one purpose, repayment of deposits. So answer is not possible. Kaushal, Chartered Accountant and MBA by profession, has been appointed as an Executive Director on board. His job includes advising board directors on various compliances matters, strategies, business plans and risk matters relating to the company. Keeping in view of above position, Mr. Kaushal can be classified as a promoter of the company. Promoter, yes or no? Answer is no. Because by profession, chartered and MBA by profession. Any person rendering services in professional capacity is excluded from the promoter definition. But if he is rendering any services exceeding professional capacity, then he will be included in promoter definition. Okay, 5 marks, Tirupati Hundi. Explain following with reference to provisions of General Clauses Act. Person or document. Includes company, body of individuals, association of persons, whether incorporated or not. Document, 4 points important ma. Document, means recording of a fact intended to use or which may be used. Next, on any substance. Yes or no? Trinity School started imparting education on 1st April 2010 with the sole objective of providing education to children of weaker society, either free of cost at a very nominal fee depending upon the financial condition of their parents. However, on 30th March 2024, it came to knowledge of central government that the said school was operating by violating the objects of objective clause, due to which it was granted the status of Section 8 company under Companies Act 2013. Describe the powers can be exercised by CG against Trinity School in such a case. Yes, powers of, simply you have to write powers of CG. After giving reasonable opportunity of being heard, revocation of license happens. Upon revocation of license, amalgamation with similar Section 8 company or winding up of a Section 8 company, and liquidation proceedings arising out of liquidation, proceedings, surplus amount arising out of liquidation shall be transferred to fund IBC, insolvency and bankruptcy. 2 marks Hundi. Next. A general meeting of ABC Private Limited was scheduled to be held on 15th April 24 at 3 p.m. 15th April, not a national holiday, 3 p.m. Business hours only. As per the notice, members who will be unable to attend the meeting in person can appoint a proxy, and proxy forms duly filed should be sent to the company. How many hours before meeting? Proxy forms. Huh? Previous question, huh? IBC, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Fund under IBC code. Okay, next. B point ma. See, general meeting date 15th April, time 3 p.m. Deposit of proxy form is valid when it is deposited with 48 hours before 31st December, right? Commencement time of meeting. Okay, listen. The proxy forms duly filed and sent to the company so that company can receive it in within the time. Mr. X, a member of company, appoints Mr. Y as his proxy, and proxy form dated 10th April 24 was deposited by Mr. Y with the company and its registered office on 11th April. Now 15th April 3 p.m. just go back 48 hours. 15th April, that is 13th April 3 p.m. By this time I should post a company should receive 11th April is within the time. Similarly, another member, Mr. W, gave 2 separate proxies to 2 individuals, M and N. M dated 12th April, deposited with company on same day, 12th April itself, whereas proxy form in favor of N was deposited on 14th April. All the proxy forms Y, M and N were present before the meeting. Now tell me who are valid proxies. Y obviously valid proxy. Out of M and N you have to choose. N is the latest proxy but not received within the due time. Automatically M is understood. Next, ambiguous definitions subject to contrary context. So just write out definitions, understanding definitions while interpreting this statute. Next, 4th question. State the persons responsible for companies with provisions regarding maintenance of books of accounts. 4 not board, 4 persons. MD, whole time director in charge of finance, CFO, any person authorized by the board. 4. If it is financial statements, 1 more person will come. All directors in the absence of above people. A small LLP, come on, tell me limits. Contribution up to 25 lakhs. Paid, turnover up to 40 lakhs. Right, complete definition. I'm just telling you. Third point is there, or which meets eligibility criteria as prescribed by the government. Remember, you have to write 3 points. If you write 2 points only, then you may get 3 marks only. 3 points you need to write. What are the differences between interpretation and construction in the legal context? Straight away theory question ma. Differences between interpretation and construction. So okay. Kedar Limited, an unlisted company registered in the state of Haryana with 100 shareholders, want to organize AGM of company for the financial year 23-24 as under. Just look at the question. The meeting shall be held on 28th September 24, which happens to be Raksha, okay, Raksha, okay, declared as a holiday by Haryana government. Venue of the meeting shall be Lonavala, a hill resort in Maharashtra. Out of 100 shareholders, 98 have given their consent in writing for conducting the meeting in Lonavala. Advise company on feasibility of the above with reference to provisions of Companies Act 2013. This one question, examiner satisfied my requirement. He is up to my mark. Paper setter is up to my mark. Now tell me, a day declared as a holiday by Haryana government, on that day can we conduct AGM? Yes or no? Exactly wrong answer. National holiday is a holiday declared by central government. So meeting is possible. Next one, Lonavala, nice location. But how many members gave consent? 98. How much consent we should get? 100%. 100% unanimous consent. Unlisted company, listed company, this rule will not apply. Unlisted company, if consent of all members are given, then meeting can be conducted at any place in India. Directly 5 marks to Tirupati Hondi. Examiner is at par, now I can appreciate examiner. Yes, these kind of questions should come in every attempt, so that law paper will be super. So only my students will clear exams. Okay, next one. Farm Limited is engaged in business of manufacturing shoes for kids. It is required to hold AGM for the financial year ending 31st March 24 by 30th September 24. However, due to internal disputes among directors, company was unable to convene AGM by the due date. Explain relevant provisions of the Companies Act 2013 with respect to filing of financial statements with ROC. By due date, AGM conducted or not conducted? What is the status of financial statements, adopted or unadopted? Now file unadopted financial statements within 30 days of due date of AGM. And once financial statements are adopted in AGM, file them as adopted financial statements. Okay, everyone. ABC Limited operates a factory situated near a river. As a recent Central Act, factories must be located at least 5 kilometers away from any river. A dispute arises when an environment agency claims that ABC factory is only 4.5 kilometers away from the river, while ABC Limited contends that distance is 5.3. Why? 2 times, circle it. It becomes 8 kilometers. Now tell me, distance how to measure ma? For example, U-turn, left turn, right turn, everything should be considered horizontal plane, straight line, straight line, horizontal plane. Okay. So based on provisions of General Clauses Act, advise whether contention of ABC Limited is correct or incorrect. Obviously incorrect. Mr. H acquired a property from PQR Limited which was mortgaged to ABC. He settled the dues to ABC Bank in full and same was registered with sub-registrar who noted that mortgage had been settled. But neither company nor ABC Bank filed particulars of satisfaction of charge with ROC. Can H approach ROC and seek any relief in this regard? Yes. So here satisfaction of charge, who is filing application? Company? No. But who is registering satisfaction of charge? ROC. Can ROC register satisfaction of charge on its suo motu powers? Section 80, 81 register, 82 satisfaction by company, 83 satisfaction by ROC. Waste section number stories wasted. Read it once ma. I thought that you will read section numbers and I thought you will tell section numbers when I leave the class. You are not at par. Not below par, underground, basement. I need to dig and I need to check where are you. Okay, so here correct, sir. Okay, fine. Discuss the matter in the light of provisions of Companies Act. So tell me, which section we need to write here? 83. Thank God. Section 83, powers of ROC to register satisfaction of charge. Within 30 days of entries in the register, intimation shall be given to the affected parties. That is important point. Mr. Prakash purchased a commercial property in Mumbai belonging to PQR Limited after entering into an agreement with the company. At the time of registration, Prakash came to know title deed of company was not free, and company expressed its inability to get the title deed transferred in Prakash's name, contending that he ought to have knowledge of charges created on the property of company in line with the provisions of Companies Act 2013. Advise whether contention of company correct? Correct or incorrect? What is section 80? Doctrine of notice. Once charge is registered with ROC, it becomes public document. So assumed that every person dealing with company having a knowledge of charge registered with ROC. So contention of company is correct. 5 marks. It's not direct into hundi. You will keep this 5 marks into hundi with your hands. XYZ Limited, a company limited incorporated outside India, into which provisions of chapter 22 of Companies Act 2013 are applicable, entered into a contract with ABC Limited, an Indian company, for supply of machinery. After machinery was delivered, ABC Limited failed to make payments, citing defects in the machinery. XYZ Limited discovered that it failed to comply with certain provisions of 22 of Companies Act 2013 relating to registration of foreign companies in India. Despite this, XYZ Limited intends to file a suit against ABC Limited for payment. Non-compliance of chapter 22, foreign companies are prohibited from exercising rights, but outsiders can exercise their rights against foreign company. That means in all contracts where foreign company is having receivable and where foreign company is having payable, payable transactions are enforceable, receivable transactions are not enforceable. Even claim, counter claim also not possible. You remember? 5 marks. You forgot, that's it. Authorized person, 4 people. Authorized dealer, money changer, offshore banking unit, any person authorized. Currency, Indian currency. It's about Indian currency. If they ask you foreign currency, it's a currency other than foreign currency. Sorry, other than Indian currency. Correct. With this, we completed mock test paper successfully.